Welcome back. I hope y'all are all doing well. I personally am going insane from quarantine. For those of you who commented last video about Chris, in my background, yes, Chris Hemsworth is with me. We love him. But I have a fun video today. I feel like there are so many famous people these days. Everyone's becoming famous, and I don't know how I feel about that. Especially now, since like so many people have access to music. Artists are able to be like more famous than they once were. I actually took a poll on Instagram to see who people thought were overrated. Most of them were accurate, except one person said like Ed Sheeran, and I'm just like, what? We are going to go over the ones that I think are most overrated. I feel like I might get a lot of hate for some of these because people's fan bases are it's such a big deal. It's like a cult. So I don't think that these are like terrible singers or something. Most of them I would probably still go to their concerts. One of them I actually did. I think I've said enough nice things, so let's get started. The first one, I'm almost scared to say this. Like, I don't want to say it because everyone's like, oh, how could you? But I just have to say it. Harry Styles. So many people were into One Direction when it was a band in like elementary school, middle school, and so we kind of graduated into liking Harry Styles when the band split up. And I will say I love Niall's music, and I think Liam and Zayn, they're pretty good. But Harry, I was never a fan of the long hair, which it seemed to be the selling point for many girls. Now, like, I think that he's talented. I think he has a good voice, good at writing songs. Obviously, he's really famous. But I guess I'm just not a fan of the whole aesthetic because I went to go look at his Instagram before I made this video. I was like looking at the celebrities so that I could kind of get a feel for what their style was, and his aesthetic was just, it was interesting. I'm not really sure what's going on with like his album cover and him. One in particular, I was just like, what? I'm not huge on like old music, and I feel like he kind of sounds old in his songs. Not like an old man, but his songs just sound like older music. They sound like something that would be from like 19 something. The only song that I've really heard played on the radio a ton is Sign of the Times, and I felt like he was almost crying in the song. He was Sign of the Times, and I'm like, it felt kind of depressing. But I know like tons of people love his music, and that's fine if you like that. Just like, he's kind of overrated, and people that like Harry Styles have just loved him ever since he was in One Direction. And so whenever I'm like, oh, I'm not a fan of Harry Styles, they're like, oh, what? And they'll be like, no, he's definitely good. And I'm like, look, you're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to mine. It's fine. The second, Billie Eilish. I would say that I'm a pretty happy person. I get that artists have to portray a certain image, you know, when they're like marketing to their fans. And she has chosen to be very angsty and like depressed. People are like, I listen to Billie Eilish. And she is wildly famous. When I looked at her Instagram, she was getting like a 10 million likes on her photo. And to put that into perspective, that's the same as like Kylie Jenner, and Taylor Swift gets 2 million. And so Billie's at 10. She has a good voice, and I think that she does know how to like write well. This is Madeleine. What do you think of Billie Eilish?
She's a bad guy.
Well, her songs, I just find them to be very dark. Like, it's very strange. Biggest hit, I think, has been Bad Guy, where, let me look up the lyrics. Let me read you the lyrics. I'm that bad type. Make your mama sad type. Make your girlfriend mad type. Might seduce your dad type. I'm the bad guy. So she's basically like, oh, well, you're a tough guy. Well, I'm the bad guy. I'm like, congratulations, you're the villain. And then she has a song, All the Good Girls Go to Hell. She just kind of makes depression her identity. Some of the things that she puts out just kind of creeps me out a little bit. Like her album cover, I don't understand. Everyone's like, I listen to Billie Eilish, like I'm so dark. I feel it, I'm so depressed. They kind of glorify this image of depression. But then recently in an interview, she was like, yeah, no one who knows me would say that like I'm a dark person. So, you know, it's separating like the artist from their work. Maybe, you know, she just likes to write dark songs. So yeah. Who I think is very underrated is her older brother. I think his name's Phineas. And he writes a lot of her music, produces it, helps her with that, and no one really says anything about him. So I don't think I could make an overrated artist video without including Ariana Grande. I feel like last year especially, it was just a personality trait to like Ariana Grande. I mean, everyone was going to her concerts and, you know, wearing Ariana Grande shirts, and like that's fine, you know. She was first in the world last year. She had albums, right, you know, coming out very frequently. She has some songs that slap. I was one of those people that posted on New Year's and was like, thank you next, you know, at 2018 or whatever. I like that song. I like a lot of her other songs too. But when I'm listening to her songs, like, she doesn't seem like a nice person. And then she has a song, she's like, break up with your girlfriend, I'm bored. And I'm like, what a jerk. I get that, you know, she's just like writing a song, so maybe she's not like that, but she just doesn't sound like somebody I would want to be friends with. Billie Eilish and Ariana Grande both were these two artists who sort of introduced the trend of doing everything in lowercase, which just bothers me. They're trying to look very casual and like they don't care, like, break up with your girlfriend, I'm bored, like, thank you next, that's just a you, not a whole you. I just am not into that. She had a live album and the name of it was Okay Bye For Now. I'm like, I don't know. Her range is incredible. She's good at singing. I'm not a huge fan of like her voice. I think she sounds kind of like this.
Hey guys, I'm Ariana Grande. Hi, break up with your girlfriend. Thank you next. I'm bored. Bye.
I mean, she's an amazing singer. I can't do any better, so I really can't talk, but I'm just gonna talk anyway. But I do like a lot of her songs, so. The next artist, Shawn Mendes. And I hate to say that because he is such a beautiful human being. I love him, but just not his music. Stitches, I think that was his first big song. He was like,
I'll be needing stitches.
like, he sings kind of funny. I'm like, you don't talk like that. Why are you singing like that? He was singing in like the exact same range and it was just, I love Senorita though. If that song has 1 million streams, I would probably be like 50,000 of them. But besides that, there's honestly not much that I'm like, oh wow, that slaps. I think he was overplayed on the radio. He seems like a very sweet person. There's all these videos, Shawn Mendes playing with puppies, Shawn Mendes holding a baby. I'm like, I love you. The next artist whose concert I went to is Kanye West. So I have a lot of friends that they just worship Kanye. You know who you are if you're watching this, and they just think that he is the best man to walk the face of this planet. What I've heard is that he's a very good producer, maybe better like producer and helping other artists than he actually is singing his own music. He put out a Christian album, Jesus is King, and that's great. I support that, but the style of his music I didn't like. He is also married to Kim Kardashian, so like, what does that say about Kanye? I'm just kidding. The Kardashians in general, they're so dramatic. I'm like, you need to stop. But yeah, I remember being at the concert and, you know, I saw Kanye and he was up there and he was singing and he was preaching to people. And then all of a sudden, this little man in a bright orange sweatshirt, like, walks up to the stage and everyone's screaming and they're like, it's Kanye. And I'm like, wait, that is Kanye. So apparently he got The Preacher to do a lot, I guess because it's a Christian album. So, but I'm like, you know, if it's your own concert, maybe you want to like sing at it. The next artist was Beyonce. And I hesitate to say that because I know that she is an extremely successful person, very like empowering. I like Beyonce as a person, but everyone is like, what a queen. And I don't mean like, oh, what a queen, you know. I'm like, no. They think that she is like royalty. One of my friends went to her concerts and they said that people would like bow to her and she would like raise the mic and they were like bowing to her. So I'm just like, you know, at that point, what is happening there? It's like a cult. I'm telling you, these fandoms are like cults. She performed at the Super Bowl. She was the lead singer of Destiny's Child, so you know, Say My Name, everyone knows that song. Besides that information, I think that she's certainly good, but she's just overrated. So those are all the overrated artists I have for today. If you disagree with me, or better yet, agree with me, comment below, subscribe, and if you have any video request because it's quarantine and I have all the time in the world to make videos. Happy quarantine. I'll see you guys later.